Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you're going to find a way to win, or you're going to find a way to lose. Many people are of the opinion that Claressa Shields and her team have done nothing but found ways to lose when it comes to the public and the public's opinion and how they perceive her. The conversation has shifted what seems to be from boxing to image control. Now, no one's even talking about Claressa Shields and how she's one of the greatest women fighters ever. We know that, but that doesn't seem to be the conversation anymore. I mean, fans really feel that the conversation around her has little to do with that shit, man. The public discussion, it seems to really center around all the controversy, which seems to be what she wanted. Her image, which seems to be what she wants to talk about. Her personality, where she wants to try to convince us that she's this great human being. All these interviews she goes on, to me, I call them low-hanging fruit interviews, because the people there, in my opinion, they're just there for the clicks and views. But her team seems to just want to have her out there to have some kind of presence established while she's in between fights. And then now we all are sitting there talking about, hey, it seems like she has no brand anymore, because everything is really about the internet drama, and this is what people are talking about, and content creators are having a field day with it. And this is extremely dangerous for any athlete, because I'm telling you, eventually the outside noise becomes bigger than the accomplishments, and this is where Claressa Shields is at, in my opinion. The outside noise and all the chaos surrounding her has overshadowed her accomplishments. And I think, and from listening to a lot of people on my live, I believe we've all concluded that her team seems to be operating in panic mode because the brand has collapsed. You know what I'm saying? You can see that the team seems to be scrambling, trying to repair the public perception. But I'm going to tell you what the issue is. Fans feel every attempt to improve the image, it just creates more criticism. That's how I feel. That's why I think we had the last live or the one before, I was saying everything these guys, this team is trying to do, it hurts her more than it helps. Now, fair or unfair, that's the perception that keeps growing. You know what I'm saying? It all started back with the Leila Ali response. That response content she put out, that shit totally backfired. Leila has become a central point in the public narrative. Leila is there chilling in her garden with her businesses, cooking food. Leila ain't got time for none of this bull crap. But many fans believe every attempt to revive the Leila conversation only creates more backlash. You know why? Because Leila doesn't even talk about this woman. Every chance Claressa gets, she mentions Leila's name. Whether it's in an interview, whether she's in a video, whether she's online typing a comment under somebody's post. I know because I see it. She just out here mentioning her name for the clout. She knows that she says something about Leila. People are going to pay attention. They're going to comment. And her name stays active. Her name stays out there. Claressa's name. But it just creates more backlash. Even PAPOOSE is doing it. You know what I'm saying? PAPOOSE. Even he's doing it. Demetrius Salida's doing it. They're all doing it. Even somebody from Win Records has mentioned it. So it's the whole team, people. And that's crazy to me. And you know what the real issue is? And this isn't just Hood Champion talking. The viewers, the fans, the supporters, even the non-supporters, but even the Claressa Shields supporters, even they're coming out here saying, look, the fight's unrealistic. Hold your horse and stop taking it to the stupid big boat. Leila ain't never going to fight you. Stop talking about it. The woman don't even acknowledge you. Leila long been retired. You seem obsessed with the woman. Nothing feels organic. It feels forced. You're just out here saying things, just throwing her name out there just to get a reaction from people, the same reaction that you say you don't like. So then when you think about the response video addressing Leila, I mean, and anything Claressa does now, all it does is reignite criticism. It started from back then when Claressa did that video. She was dressed in all black and couldn't pronounce the word camaraderie because we had camaraderie. Remember that shit? Talking with her hands and everything. I thought she was doing gang signs. I don't know, the Bloods and Crips. I didn't know what was going on. She was banging on Leila and shit. But the bottom line is, even today, you mention Leila Ali's name, la 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 la, you're going to reignite criticism, and it hurts Claressa's image. Why she continues to do it, her team keeps encouraging that nonsense for them to do it. I don't get it. Have they not realized that they're not getting any opportunities? Once she went at Leila Ali and Muhammad Ali, and I ain't gonna say nothing else about this because y'all already know I've done enough videos on it, doors immediately closed. Some closed abruptly, some closed quietly. The bottom line is they've closed. And since she's continued mentioning her name, those doors have been bolted shut now. To even have the audacity, this is how you know somebody is goddamn Sesame Street crazy. You come and disrespect Leila, even disrespect Muhammad Ali, to try to, like she told me when I interviewed her, it's mental warfare. I just wanted to fight, right? But then you come out here now trying to say nice things about Muhammad Ali. Like, what the F are you thinking about? Again, reigniting more criticism. People looking at you like you crazy. Like, just keep the names out your mouth. You come out here and talk about Muhammad Ali would never. She ain't got a father DNA. All this shit. And then come out here talking about, yeah, to me, Muhammad Ali is the greatest, and then there's me. He's number one, I'm number two. Hot cross buns, hot cross. What are you talking about? Keep these people's name out your mouth, man. And then so that's one of the biggest issues. Just keep the people's name out your mouth, man. Then you had this thing, right? And so the bottom line, they'll never recover from disrespecting the Alis, period. They will never, ever recover. But then you have the other thing that happened. They had a little workshop, the Christmas gift giveaway. And, they had the family show up there. Of course, her and the mother obviously had some disagreements because Claressa's other man at the time, she must have been messaging him some shit. And Claressa, as no surprise, she's jealous, right? Bottom line, she didn't want the lady at the event, kick the woman and her children up out of there. Now, this was an opportunity for Claressa to have shown some kind of growth and maturity and just say, hey, I let them get their gifts, but then I told the mother, okay, y'all had to go because I didn't want any problems. She'd been very disrespectful towards me, but those kids came, it was all about those kids. Because let me tell you, when it comes to children, people pay attention to how you deal with children and handle children. This is why, one of the many reasons why people are like, ain't no way in the world. Well, PAPOOSE in his situation and the small child that he and Remy have, you better be careful of what he's doing as far as if he ever wants to bring that child around Claressa. And I agree 100%. I do. 100, not just because of this Christmas gift giveaway, just because of everything that I'm seeing. Don't do it. That's all I'll tell PAPOOSE. Like, I ain't even got a joke today. PAPOOSE, I know y'all be watching these videos. Don't do it, man. Shit ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Don't do it. But the way she handled that family and bragged about kicking them out and how they were homeless and this, like she enjoyed seeing them suffer. She enjoyed knowing she ruined those kids' Christmas. She enjoyed it. She enjoyed that shit. That's what's crazy about it. She couldn't wait to go online and talk about it. Disgusting, man. And that's why the critics online question the whole timing, the intent. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you do that? So now they're like, okay, it seems her team is like, all right, that's another thing we got to work on trying to repair her image, because this just highlights a major branding problem. Let's set Leila Ali stuff aside for a second. You just think about this. people who's sitting there in the bushes is watching her. They're like, damn, this woman really came out here and did this? Because most of us can't understand it. Some people can. There's some bitter ass people out here in the world. But most of us can't understand it. Kids come for gifts. The mom have nothing to do with it. Give the children the gifts. Simple. And then say, have somebody else talk to them. Y'all have to leave now. And I'm sure that it would have probably still made the mother feel a kind of way, but you can only get so frustrated. But once they take care of your children, it's about them kids. It ain't about your ass anyway. So shut up and leave. But what happened is Claressa, again, the trust between her and the public has been eroded. So when she comes out here and tries to do any kind of positive act, it's going to get questioned. And this is one of the harshest realities of the internet culture. You know what I'm saying? You think about any positive act she does now. Let's just talk about the turkey giveaway, where she was out there in them shoes and shit. She did a turkey giveaway. Nobody was trying to hear that. Nobody. She's going to have another one coming up here this year probably. Nobody want to hear that. If she tries to get involved in some other kind of Christmas giveaway, nobody's going to want to hear that. She tries to do some community appearance. Anything that Claressa Shields tries to do is, let's just categorize it as like a charity event. It's going to be filtered through public perception. So the turkey giveaways, Christmas giveaways, community appearances, anything she does, it is what it is. And you know what's crazy about it? Normally, these moments can strengthen a public figure's image. Like it really could, but you got to understand there's so many critics now. They're going to be like, it's staged, it's performative, feels like all this is designed for the cameras instead of the community. This is just trying to help rebrand her and get people to look at her in a different light, but we can see through all the smokes and mirrors. It's nothing genuine, it's not real, it's all bullshit. And again, whether true or not, it becomes secondary. The perception becomes reality online. That's why when she keeps talking about the $8 million deal, $8 million deal, $8 million, she ain't shut up talking about that deal in the last goddamn few months. Like every time she's still talking about it. That shit is old news because you don't get the whole $8 million anyway, and nobody believes you. You understand? Because of the perception. No, nobody believes you. She did that to herself, man. That's just how it goes, man. That's the internet culture. The public trust is gone. Major money, internet earnings, and initially, I could see some fans were like, "All right, Claressa, she got an $8 million deal," but the majority were like, "Yo, this sounds boastful. They could care less anyway." And they're just like, Claressa and them seem to be focused on money and status. But the problem with public bragging, right, which is what her and her team always do. The one who doesn't seem to brag that much is Demetrius Salita. He don't really say much about none of that shit. You notice that, right? But the bottom line, all that public bragging, nobody want to hear that. It has alienated audiences emotionally, especially because the fans most felt disconnected from her anyway. And then those of us who know boxing know Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor's out there making real dough. In one fight, they made more than $8 million each. So everybody looking at her with this big dog and pony show they put on, like, what is this crap? So again, it didn't do anything but create more backlash for her. Coming out here bragging about an $8 million deal. It hurt her. It didn't help her. And then that stuff about making money off the internet. I did a video on that the other day. Told me she make $5,000 a day. $5,000 a day. Even back then, I didn't believe it, and now for sure I don't believe it because she obviously will say anything, won't she? She has proven, and that's how I operate. I don't say nothing. I just let things play out. Everybody who watches my channel knows. Hood ain't gonna say nothing about nothing. He'll just be like, let's set planning factors. That's his favorite thing to say. Next to, I'll be on the internet like that. And I'm from the old school. Set planning factors and let's see how it plays out. And with Claressa Shields, you can see how most things played out. She comes out to prove that she's not being truthful. Now, this thing about being on the internet, I do believe she makes a little bit of money off the internet. Could be, I don't know, maybe $10,000 a month. 5, maybe 20, who knows? But we're talking about a month. We ain't talking about it one day. And nobody's gonna, most of us not gonna knock anybody's hustle. You know what I mean? But at the same time, when you're just doing and saying anything for clicks, that's where the divide begins. For most, some people like all that bullshit. But a lot of viewers, when they watch Claressa, they're just like, man, controversy has become part of her business model. And that has destroyed her business model. It's a business model to fail and destroy your brand. You know what I'm saying? All this outrage, all this commotion, chaos, everything surrounding her, fans feel that shit's being done intentionally. And what trust was there is gone. Because it just weakens to the point to even the people who support you, even they get tired of that. So her team is trying to figure things out. You know, they're trying to figure it out. How do we save this woman's brand? It's collapsing. Well, everything they try to do, it seems to hurt it. Then you got this thing, and I'm not even trying to be funny. This thing about a sex symbol. Now look, some of y'all may think Claressa Shields is a sex symbol. Some of y'all may not believe she's a sex symbol. You know, we talked the other night, something along the lines of her have a body like Serena Williams and got a face like Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? Got the blonde hair, got the weave, got all the sew-ins. She wigs. She got some Beyonce in her. I mean, I hear what y'all saying, but y'all know I don't really have an opinion on that. But all I will say is, hey, yo, hold your horses and stop taking to the stupid. Serena Williams, Venus Williams, J-Lo, all these women, they are who they are. Beyonce, Rihanna, and these other women, they are who they are. Big Broke is what she is. So I would never, ever come and try to put them all in the same category. But I have noticed, oh my God, I have noticed that many critics are noticing a dramatic shift in boxing because they're talking about it because they're looking at the appearance, trying to be sex symbol, the presentation, the posing, the social media tone, the emphasis on attractiveness. What is Claressa Shields doing? Why is her team pushing her this way? I saw something the other day. Remy got on like a little, I didn't even know this shit exists. You know, stuff gets sent to me. Remy got on like a little lingerie thing. I think it was gray. Then there's the one we got with Claressa wearing the pink. And I'm like, that's why Claressa's doing that? Is she competing with Remy? That's the narrative that everybody's pushing. But when I see over like 100 different images of her wearing outfits that's almost the exact same to what Remy's wearing, I'm like, what the hell is going on here? She trying to be a sex symbol? She competing with Remy? Why is her team pushing this? Why are they allowing this? Why is this what they're trying to market? Because I don't see confidence. The shit seems forced and unnatural, like she's doing something she's being told, and she already said it. Whatever PAPOOSE says she does. Now, I strongly believe he's the one that's like, hey, do this, do that. But I'm going to tell you this, right? As boxing fans want boxing. Boxing greatness. We don't want this internet thirst marketing bullshit. So again, the push for the sex symbol image has become an issue and further destroyed her brand. Like, it's just decimating her brand, turning that shit beyond granules into powder. Like, it's her image is just over people. But everything they keep trying to do, they just keep ruining it. And I'm going to tell you this here. This thing about MVP, there's no comparison to what MVP is doing, because they keep getting brought into the discussions. And you can understand why. What MVP is doing for their women on their platform, there's no comparison to how they're handling that and how Claressa is being handled. I listen to the fans. They're like, hey, Hood, you got to point out how MVP promotes women fighters. Look at the storytelling. Look at the professionalism, the consistency, positive media appearances, clear branding. And if there is a little bit of turmoil out there between the women, they don't come out here and publicly lynch anyone. You could tell there's conversation going on behind the scenes because that shit dies down, just like it did with Caroline DeBar and Alicia Baumgartner, didn't it? So many observers feel their athletes appear protected and strategically presented. That comparison has increased scrutiny towards Claressa's team, where they just seem to be the Wild Wild West. They don't know what they're doing with Claressa. She is a boxer, and she's not a damn sex symbol at all. And that's not what you should be pushing. Got her out here, man. For the rest of her life, this shit they're doing is going to be out there in the atmosphere. For the rest of her life, these images of her out here looking crazy. What man, or what, first of all, forget the man thing, right? Because according to her and PAPOOSE are going to be together forever. What business, what company, what major entity is going to want to get behind her and have her represent them? None. Because the way they've gone about marketing her is the total opposite of her being professional. They're not even making her look beautiful. It's looking classless, man. It's something you expect to see like on reality TV, and like the people talking about the baddies in the Zeus network. Like it's not classy, man. They're not thinking 2 gold medals. They're thinking a quick 2 seconds of attention. Because I don't look at her and see 2 gold medals at all. And her team hasn't come and gotten beyond that. They pushed her the wrong direction. And this is my opinion. I think they pushed her the direction for the low-hanging fruit. Those are the easy, anybody can do that. Anybody can go after the low-hanging fruit. But when somebody with them accolades, they should have pushed a different direction, but they didn't do it. But you got to look at her team, because they're in panic mode, because everything they're trying to do, it ain't working. They've lost control of the narrative. You got to think about that. It's just like those belts that were on display. It came across like Claressa Shields now is going to have her accomplishments highlighted in some museum. Then you find out there's some temporary pop-up like display that's going to be there for a period of time and she gets her shit back. But it comes across like she's making history. Then this thing about up there in, Michigan, the Michigan Hall of Fame. I think it was the Michigan, not the Flint Hall of Fame, but the Michigan Hall of Fame. She gets, inducted into that. And again, we are here thinking, okay, that's why. Why'd they put her in there? It didn't make any sense to us. But it was something positive. It just didn't make sense, though. Then you find out she seems to have some connection to the mayor of Flint. And then it's like, okay, could that have had something to do with them getting behind her to ensure that she got into this Hall of Fame? Again, to try to help her brand. But it didn't do anything but hurt it. Because this thing about her, this foreclosed home and tax problems and stuff like that that's bubbling around the internet. Look, there's obviously something going on, right? But I'll just say this. You can't believe anything going on with her. Everything that they've tried to do, or everything that she's been attached to that's supposed to be something positive, it just ends up backfiring. Even her going out there to mentor these young girls and do this boxing clinic up there in Dallas, that's backfired. Because, okay, you went out there and you did one, where are the rest? people are like, okay, y'all are just out here, man, these knee-jerk reactions, thinking that's going to be enough to get people to change their perception of her. No, you got to be consistent. So the pop-up display, the induction, this thing with mentoring the young girls, which I think is a positive, beautiful thing, but again, it's created backlash. Because it's not consistent. Now you got the whole thing with her being a promoter. Look at what happened there. Again, another one of these reactive type deals. You know what I'm saying? Just throw this out there that she's promoting the fight. Okay, she got some fighters on the card, cool, but then she doesn't even show up to the damn fight. That's why I said she probably not even really promoting these guys. They just wanted to get her out there to try to get people to see her as a businesswoman, as a professional. But again, one and done. That's not how this works. You got to be consistent. She should have been there talking to the media, talking to the fans. She should have been there talking with her fighter right next to her, promoting her fighter. She should have been doing the shit you expect a promoter to do. But she didn't do that. The whole thing is just all bad, man. Claressa discussing promoting fighters. There were people who really applauded her ambitions. But then you look how it all plays out. Everybody's questioning the organization. They're like, is this even real? They're like, there's no consistency. There's no professionalism. She didn't show any commitment, true commitment to her fighters. They're like, man, this is all bullshit, hood. Critics are arguing, you know what? Being a promoter requires long-term structure, reliability, and presence. She couldn't even show up there for this. How can her fighters have confidence that she's going to take care of her career? So again, backlash and perceived inconsistency quickly becomes magnified publicly. And that's exactly what's happened with everything she seems to be out here trying to do. It just gets magnified publicly, man. Because they're like, yo, she's inconsistent as far as what these things that she's trying to do that's supposed to be positive. Because at the end of the day, most of us are sitting there watching it. We know it's just a hustle for them. But who's really getting used here? Because all these supposed to be positive accomplishments and things that they're trying to do, they're getting negative responses. That Hall of Fame recognition was crazy. Negative response. Them championship belts on display, negative response. Big fight events, negative response. Her and Franchon had a big fight, a rematch. Look at how negative that turned out. You understand? Everything with Claressa Shields and PAPOOSE attached to it. The whole shit's been negative. Everything's been negative. They're all losses. Everything is lose, lose, lose. For Claressa anyway, that's how it seems on the outside looking in. I'll put it to you this way, for those who are like, oh, Hood, you're hating. Okay. Since she hooked up with PAPOOSE, name one celebratory moment. Don't tell me the $8 million deal. Okay? Name a celebratory moment. It's something that they did for Claressa to where they did not benefit. This was something they set up for her. This is what I'm asking y'all. Just name one celebratory moment. That's all I'm asking. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See, you can't name one. This is why the online discourse, it turns negative, man. That's how you know public fatigue is setting in. Because if there's supposed to be a victory somehow for them, it turns into an argument because it's like, who, what, when, where, why, how? Everything has a question mark over it. And that team is in panic mode. I'm telling you they are. That Franchon fight, that shit did not change the energy. I'm telling you that right now. It was an opportunity for her to shift the focus back to boxing. Even the build-up, everybody's like, oh, this is going to be a joke. And I said, the promotion's fake, the fight will be real. But then what you saw is it wasn't good enough for her team. Right? Again, the promotion wasn't good enough. So the day of the weigh-in, they had her shove Franchon. So she shoves her friend. Now she doesn't have that friend. Her friend of 15 years gone. So Claressa's a nowhereian. She has nowhere to go. She's by herself. and got these people around here, and they're doing whatever they're doing. But they didn't expect for that shove to turn into that brawl. You see what I'm saying? Poor decision making. But who took all the shots? Claressa did. PAPOOSE ain't really take no shot. Win Record ain't really take no shots. It's Claressa. She's the face of everything, so she's taking all those shots. But she did what she was told, and she says, if I'm told to do something by PAPOOSE, I'll do it. Franchon said PAPOOSE told her to shove her. So that Franchon fight, again, that didn't change shit. Because the drama, again, with Claressa Shields overshadowed the event. It overshadowed everything. And that's the danger of overexposure. And the Claressa Shields audience, I mean, look, we're conditioned to focus on controversy instead of achievement now because we don't really get any notifications about any achievements from her because everything is drama, controversy, negative. And if we're seeing that here in the weeds, you know those guys up there in those positions where they can put some money in her pocket are looking at her brand and saying, hell no. If we see it, they see it. We're at the lowest level possible. They're way up there. They're looking down and seeing it. So they see more. And they have a different lens. So it makes you wonder how we all know the internet doesn't forget and how her and her team may not realize that. That's one of the hardest realities of modern celebrity culture. Everything becomes permanent, man. Comments, interviews, arguments, viral clips, rants. Gets replayed endlessly, over and over and over, and that creates a snowball effect where public perception becomes harder to reverse. Once they develop a perception about you, not much you can do. You know, this fake accusation is the most damaging part. You got to be consistent, man. And this is just my opinion right here. The biggest criticism from observers is not even a controversy. It's authenticity. Many critics are out here saying nothing feels real anymore when it comes to this chick. I agree. I've been saying it's all forced. But I'll tell you this, once that audience starts believing authenticity exists, rebuilding trust becomes incredibly difficult. You got to be consistent. If you're true to who you are, everything will fall into place. But remember, she's not doing what she wants to do. She's doing what she's told. That's what she said, right? If Claressa was doing what she wants to do, maybe she would move a little differently. I ain't saying she won't be negative. She won't be filled with drama. I'm just saying maybe she'd move a little differently because she wasn't doing all this shit before PAPOOSE, before he came into the equation. Was she? She was still chippy, full of drama, but she wasn't what she is now. She's telling you that she's fine. She's telling you that she's beautiful. She's telling you that she got a big ass. She's telling you about all these things. Like, she's telling you that she's the greatest, that she's this. She's trying to tell you, she's trying to force things on you, make you believe what she wants you to believe. People going to form their own opinions about it. And as a result, since you want to come in here and talk about your relationship, talk about your personal drama, you want to come in interviews and conduct yourself crazy, you got this social media behavior just to get clicks and views. Well, okay, I mean, the discussions have shifted from boxing into these things. These are the areas where people are talking about your relationships. One thing she was like, I don't want to talk about my relationship. That's the number one thing people talk about. I don't want nobody talking about my interviews. Okay, your interviews, everybody talks about it. Matter of fact, they don't have to because you just go live. That gives them even more content. The live is better than the interviews. Okay, you don't say nothing. You just post something on social media. You just tweet something or whatever. Okay, social media behavior. That gives people something to talk about because of what you're doing and saying. But the personal drama, in addition to all that, it's just created a turning point where boxing stopped being the focus. You know what I'm saying? The boxing fans and the casual fans and even non-boxing fans, the hip-hop audience, they're just like, they're just tired, man. They are tired. They're like, yo, this controversy fatigue is real hood. You know what I'm saying? They're like, we got to try to understand this shit psychologically, man. They're like, it seems like the audiences are just exhausted. And I'll tell you, I watch people, I listen. That's what eventually happens. People become exhausted. Not necessarily hateful. Some do hate her, not all. I say that because I see people talking about I hate her, but that's a hard word. You don't know her. She's just hard to like. Like Christy Martin said, she ain't likable. But all this hate and shit, I don't be using the words, man. I think it's more just tired. Tired. But when controversy becomes constant, people disengage emotionally. And that may be the biggest challenge facing the brand right now. Some people feel her team should stop responding entirely. Growing up, fans believed a whole bunch of things. Man, hold on. But I'll just say this. Some people feel her team should stop responding entirely. A growing group of fans believe the best move now will be silence and focus. No reactions, no emotional interviews, no online wars. Just boxing, discipline, professionalism, consistency. Because sometimes rebuilding a brand requires disappearing from chaos long enough for emotions to just cool down. But I don't know what her team is going to do, I'll be honest with you. I think they're going to keep pushing what they've been pushing because that's all they know. But the internet rewards chaos short term, but always, when it comes long term, nope, not at all. They don't want it. And that's a dangerous trap that she's fallen into, man. She's facing it. The controversy got her clicks, got her engagement, got her virality, got her conversation. But long term, the trust is gone, the stability's up out of here. Nobody sees her as professional anymore, and we see that she lacks emotional discipline. And I just think those systems, those systems start to conflict with each other. Short-term fame versus the long-term stability. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. So at the end of the day, Claressa Shields, I mean, look, no one talks about it, but I'm going to say it. She's an all-time great fighter. But the public image has entered dangerous territory because controversy overshadowed accomplishments. The emotional response became constant. Her branding had lost consistency. She has no brand anymore, in my opinion. And the public no longer knows what version of Claressa they're getting. You know what I'm saying? For anyone who thinks that the damage can be repaired, well, good luck to you. You're a very optimistic person. I'm a realist. I don't think you can. Too much shit, let's say plenty of shit start to stink. And too much has been thrown out there to the public. So one thing I think we can all agree on is the next phase of her career will depend less on her talent and more on discipline, focus, and authenticity, and especially that leadership around her. They need to figure out what they're doing with Claressa Shields ASAP. I think it's too late, but going forward, it doesn't look like they plan on changing their order of operation, and that's very unfortunate for her because it's a couple years ago, she wasn't in this position, folks. But look at how she is now. It's all bad. And I'm going to tell you again, name one celebratory moment since she's hooked up with PAPOOSE and Win Records. That's all I'm asking you. Just name me one. She was making over $1 million per fight when she was with Dimitri Salita. Now she's supposed to be making $2 million a fight, supposedly, right? But how many people are getting a piece of that $2 million now? That's all I'm saying. And remember, I don't believe none of this shit. But I can't verify it or nothing. I can just go off what they say. But if you ask me, no, I don't believe anything. Because I don't trust anything that's being said by her or her team. I don't trust anything. I believe what Jake Paul says and what they're doing because you can look and see what the hell they have going on. They're consistent. When it comes to these other guys, I don't believe nothing. And that's just my opinion. I'm being real. I don't believe nothing. Nothing. Yo, I'm in the breeze.